Deputy chief is under investigation at a local police department. Plus, we are live at Epic Universe with what we know about the 32-year-old man who died after riding a roller coaster at Epic Universe. And we are following breaking news. The Trump administration's new vaccine advisors have declined to recommend the COVID-19 shot for all Americans.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
And we start with that breaking news on vaccines. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s new vaccine advisors are declining to recommend the COVID shot for all Americans and now leaving the choice to people who want it. Until now, the vaccinations had been routinely provided to nearly all Americans. CBS's Mark Strassman has the details from Atlanta.
Vote 12 yes, 0 no, and 0 abstain.
The CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee voted to advise Americans to speak to their doctor if they want a COVID-19 vaccine. But the ACIP stopped short of recommending anyone 6 months and older get the shot.
I'm worried it interrupts credibility for the CDC. If you make a recommendation that people are simply not going to follow, I don't think that's wise.
The 12-member panel was handpicked by HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a longtime vaccine skeptic. Some outside medical liaisons working with the panel say the guidance should be more forceful.
Simple, stable recommendations can increase vaccine coverage. COVID-19 vaccines are highly safe and effective. Or if we don't want to say safe and effective, they work.
A recent CBS News poll found 77% of Americans say the COVID shots should be available to people who want them, whether or not they would get one themselves. Yesterday, the panel voted to change its MMRV recommendations, recommending children under 4 should not get that vaccine, but instead get one shot for measles, mumps, and rubella, and then a second, varicella, to protect against chickenpox. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Atlanta.
Now to what we are learning about an internal investigation into the deputy chief at Kissimmee Police Department. This is all related to a use of force case. News 6's Jarrell Baker joins us now live in studio to explain more about this. Jarrell.
Yeah, and Lisa, you see it right here. Nearly a dozen officers and employees have either resigned, been fired, or demoted after this case has come to light, including former Chief Betty Holland and Deputy Chief Alicia. Now, Munoz could also be added to that list after this investigation wraps up.
The Kissimmee Police Department is committed to ensuring that all of our neighborhoods and community areas, businesses, residential, are safe.
Just weeks after speaking with News 6 on a drug bus, Kissimmee Police Deputy Chief Wilson Munoz is now under his own investigation. Friday, Chief Charles Broadway confirmed that Munoz was put on leave as a part of the final disciplinary matter in the Andrew Passaggio case.
Don't touch him, man. Okay, come on, shut the door. Don't touch him.
Passaggio was indicted on felony battery and other charges after body camera video showed him entering a home on Bragg Street in April 2023 without a warrant and using force outside the department policy to take a man into custody, causing the man to suffer seriously bodily injuries. Investigators say that he also wrote a falsified report to avoid an internal affairs investigation.
While in the home, he struck Mr. Kastner twice in the face with his knee.
In an independent investigation of the police department released earlier this year, it revealed that Deputy Chief Munoz admitted the agency probably should have conducted a criminal investigation into Officer Passaggio's actions, but joined Chief Holland and Deputy Chief Alicia in their collective decision to forego it. Also, Deputy Chief Munoz admittedly did not seek guidance from subject matter experts, legal advisors, or the state attorney's office during the early stages of the incident review process and knew no one else in the agency consulted the appropriate entities to evaluate the incident. The statement released Friday by police didn't go into detail about Munoz, but the FDLE and other investigators have several concerns about Deputy Chief Wilson Munoz's actions. Munoz has been placed on administrative leave with pay for the duration of this investigation. Now, we did reach out to Kissimmee Police for an on-camera interview, but we did not hear back yet. Lisa?
All right, Jarrell, thank you. We do want to take a live look now over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando cam. And we are seeing drier days for the last official weekend of summer. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas joins us now with what we can expect for tonight, Friday Night Football, of course, and our weekend plans. Jonathan.
That was like the Toy Story sky with just those nice little puffy cumulus
Looks
clouds
nice.
out there. Yeah, very nice out there. It's certainly a little more humid outside tonight. We've been talking about the gradual return of how it should feel like in the middle of September. Right now, nice clean sweep on the radar. We are watching a couple of downpours. We've been talking about this over the last couple of nights that for high school football, the only really concern for a stray quick hitting downpour is going to be right along the coast. Otherwise, most of us should be dry, not only for the rest of tonight, but as we get into tomorrow as well. There's 7 o'clock, for example, as we get the kickoff going. I don't think these downpours are going to be here that you see along the 75 corridor, but most of us are going to be nice and dry as those games get underway and for the bulk of the afternoon, the bulk of the evening. And I think even for the weekend, most of it's going to be on the drier side. We're going to highlight any kind of rain chance for the weekend coming up at about 4:17.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. This afternoon, we are pushing for answers on what led up to a man's death after riding a roller coaster at Universal's Epic Universe. This happened on Wednesday. Yesterday on News 6 at 4, we brought you the breaking news of the autopsy report revealing he died from multiple blunt impact injuries. Now, News 6's Laverne McGee has been digging into this story for us all day. She joins us now live from outside the park. And Laverne, the investigation into this death really is just beginning.
Absolutely. We got new information just minutes ago, actually. A report was sent to us saying that it confirms that the gentleman had a pre-existing spinal injury and was on medication. And per Universal, the attraction is not allowed for guests with back, neck, or similar physical conditions. So we are getting information in right now, new information.
While state and local investigators work inside the park, outside, those who knew Kevin Zavala are sharing pictures and memories. Quote, Kevin was truly one of a kind. He had an old soul wise beyond his years, with a heart full of compassion, love, and understanding. That is just part of a GoFundMe page reportedly dedicated to Kevin Zavala. Adding, quote, he was the kind of person who always made time to listen, offer thoughtful advice, and lift others up, even when he was facing challenges of his own. About $15,000 has already been raised of the original $16,000 goal. But in the last hour, the goal increased to $28,000. As for exactly what happened, the medical examiner determined the manner of death an accident. Investigators are not confirming any other information, including if the 32-year-old may have had a condition that could have posed a problem. You can see from the photos on the GoFundMe page, he used a wheelchair. Stardust is a relatively new ride with Epic Universe that opened in May. The Orange County Medical Examiner released a statement saying he died of multiple blunt impact injuries. While the Orange County Sheriff's Office's investigation into the death continues, the park has made the decision to keep the roller coaster closed.
So once again, this new information that we just received moments ago, a report coming out and was on medication. And once again, Universal has a policy attraction. This attraction is not allowed for guests with back, neck, or similar physical conditions. Again, we of course don't know the exact details of that medical condition. We do know that Universal has a policy about who can and cannot ride this. We have more information, more details are coming out, and we'll have that for you in the next hour. Reporting live at Universal, Laverne McGee, News 6.
All right, Laverne, thank you. In less than 2 hours, the Edgewater Police Department will hold a candlelight vigil to remember the life of the officer who was shot and killed while off duty at a gas station. The shooting happened on Monday afternoon at a Circle K in Ormond by the Sea. The gas station's clerk, 24-year-old Eduardo Machado, was arrested and faces a first-degree charge of murder. The vigil honoring Officer David Jewell will be held at the Edgewater Alliance Church on Ridgewood Avenue at 6. Police say his funeral will be held at a later date. Investigators in Polk County have made nearly 250 arrests related to human trafficking, child predators, and illegal immigration. The week-long undercover investigation was part of what the sheriff's office is calling Fool Around and Find Out Again. Polk County Sheriff worked with several other law enforcement agencies to detain 245 suspects. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd noted that some of the people arrested were on government assistance.
Our CFO is really interested in waste. Well, think about it. You, the hardworking people, were out making money, earning money, paying taxes, and they were being paid to violate the law.
Of those arrested, 99 people were charged with soliciting prostitutes, including a recently hired Orange County deputy recruit. As News 6 First reported last week, that deputy recruit, Jabez Lowe, was fired by Orange County following his arrest. According to investigators, Lowe agreed to pay $80 for a 15-minute encounter with who he thought was a prostitute. Thousands of people are expected to gather this Sunday at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, for the funeral and public memorial of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Security is expected to be extremely tight. The Department of Homeland Security has classified the memorial as a Level 1 security event. That's the same level of protection used for a Super Bowl. It means federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies are all coordinating security. President Trump, Vice President Vance, and Kirk's widow, Erica, are expected to speak at the funeral. A new elementary school is getting ready to welcome teachers and students, but it comes as a local school district grapples with millions of dollars in budget challenges. What you and your students can expect inside the classroom, that's coming up. Plus,
I don't understand it. And I'm not paying for something that we didn't do.
a woman receives a $4,400 water bill. News 6 anchor Matt Austin goes to Wedgefield to cover the latest chapter in a decades-long water saga.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
The neighborhood of Wedgefield has been complaining of issues with its water company, Plurus, for years. And today we hear from a woman who says she is having a new issue, an astronomically high water bill. News 6 anchor Matt Austin is your community correspondent in East Orange County. And Matt, you met with some concerned homeowners today.
Yeah, I did. So think about your average water bill, and now imagine getting a bill for 1 month for more than $4,400. This woman contacted News 6 saying she has nowhere else to turn. Her water will be shut off on Tuesday. She says this all has to be a glitch.
It's been difficult. My family has passed away. I'm taking care of my grandfather and my dad. So it's hard.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Annika Martin can barely keep her head above water. On top of everything else going on in her life, in July, Martin received this water bill for $4,400 for 1 month.
What do you think's happening?
I think that there's a computer glitch of some sort. And I don't know exactly what's going on, but something's going on.
Here's a closer look at the bill. On June 8th, her water usage goes from averaging 0 to 10.
Equipment, it's not our responsibility.
Martin says she called 2 plumbers who...
Equipment, it's not our responsibility.
Martin says she called 2 plumbers who both confirmed there was no leak. We reached out to Plurus. They responded saying they checked the meter, no issues. In an email, the company wrote, Plurus is not legally bound to give Miss Martin an adjustment on the elevated usage charges. In an act of good faith, we have offered a tier rate adjustment and payment plan on the remaining balance. Miss Martin has not yet acknowledged if she will accept the offer. The bill was cut to $1,800.
My response is, you're still wanting me to pay for water that I did not use. The only acceptable thing is to adjust my bill to what it normally is, and I'll pay it. That's it. But my water is going to be shut off on Tuesday if I don't pay this.
So neighbors in Wedgefield have been lobbying to join Orange County Utilities for years.
Water, just trying to save money.
I talked to a neighbor today who said they try to save water so much they don't water their grass, they will not wash their car, and they don't flush their toilets as much unless they absolutely have to. They're trying to save money that much.
That is ridiculous that so many people are in that situation.
It's one of the most expensive water bills you can get in Florida.
Well, hopefully they can get some results too. And she shouldn't be stuck with a bill that she didn't rack up, right? She shouldn't be stuck with a bill that she didn't rack up, right?
That's what she says.
I say that too. All right, we do want to check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. We're looking for a drier weekend.
Yes.
Some people could use some rain on their lawns right now, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen over the next 48 hours.
Yeah, I don't really think so. It's just going to be a quick hitting downpour too, not going to help much. Watching these downpours right off the Space Coast, so we were talking about this earlier, that if there's a shot for a quick hitting downpour, if you're heading out to high school football games tonight, they're mainly going to be on the coast, and that's about it. You can track those downpours and stay up to date with the forecast. By downloading the free News 6 weather app. Again, just search News 6 in your app store. Otherwise, nice, clean sweep. We certainly have extra humidity, but it is going to be a nice night for high school football. DeLand out at Deltona tonight. 7 o'clock kickoff. News 6, of course, will be there. Mainly clear skies throughout the course of the evening. Again, a stray downpour is possible early on. I think most of it will be off to the south, and I think most of the game is going to be dry. Temperatures by 8 o'clock towards the game's end. By 9, we're hanging out into the mid to upper 70s. So pretty nice night for football. This is what I'm talking about. 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. Few clouds just pushing on shore. Otherwise, I think we're going to have a mainly clear night. 6, 7 o'clock on your Saturday morning, we'll have downpours trying to develop here just right along the coast. Otherwise, those are going to start to push inland. 7 to 8 o'clock through the rest of the afternoon and evening. We're looking pretty good. I think we're going to see a lot of sunshine tomorrow, and as that drier air pushes in, it's going to keep rain chances pretty low. Only have it about 20% tomorrow and Sunday. Here's a live look outside Port Canaveral, both of the Disney ships in port. Live look with our Launch Credit Union camera tonight. Temperatures back to the middle 80s under those clear skies. Again, a few of those puffy heating of the day clouds. Those will go down as we lose the sun over the next couple of hours. We're at 88 in Sanford. Good evening in Oviedo. We're also at 88. DeLand, we're at 86. Kissimmee, we're checking in at 89 degrees. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
Temperature is going to get back up to around 90 degrees tomorrow. Watching this trough, this surface trough we call it, there's an area of low pressure tied to it, but that storm developing off towards our south and east is actually going to help us bring in some of that drier air with that counterclockwise motion. And you see all the orange. This is the current water vapor now, 4 to 5 o'clock into the evening where we stand. You see all the orange and black on your screen. That's the drier air in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. That is what's going to make rain chances hard to come by tomorrow. Again, have it at 20% just for the stray opportunity, again, for those downpours to sneak on shore. Tropical front, still watching Gabrielle. It's a weak tropical storm out there. Again, this one poses no threat to the United States. Again, high temperatures tomorrow, getting back into the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. And over the next 7 days, we're going to keep temperatures back in the lower 90s on Monday, 40% shot there, 40% chance for rain on Tuesday as well. We're going to keep things hovering right around 90 degrees through next work week, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. An elementary school first built back in 1956 now has a new look, and next week it will officially open its doors. What students, staff, and teachers can expect from the new campus, and how the school district is handling big budget challenges.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
It's a big day for students and teachers in DeLand. Today, Volusia County leaders cut the ribbon on a brand new elementary school. The new Edith Stark Elementary is ushering in a new era for a school that was first built back in 1956. It was funded in part by the half-cent sales tax, and the rebuilt campus features a media center, new administrative offices, art and music classrooms, and safer pickup and drop-off areas. The school can now serve 650 students and is home to the district's first STEM Plus Arts Magnet program. Teachers will begin moving into the new classrooms on Monday, and students will get their first day inside the building on Tuesday. People who live in the area tell us they are happy to see the new school.
I think it's great for the kids. It's a great community.
The world's always changing. There's always new inventions, so stay in school.
The opening also marks a high point for Volusia County School District, which just celebrated its first A rating from the state in 16 years. But it comes as Volusia schools face a projected $25 million deficit next year. To balance the books, leaders say they are using reserves, restructuring positions, and reevaluating programs. Just days after state leaders criticized Orange County for wasteful spending, local leaders approved a new $8.3 billion budget. What that means for you, that's coming up next. Plus,
e-bikes are more popular than ever, especially with kids.
This is a nationwide problem. E-bikes have exploded around the country, and the complaints do come in.
We're looking at how communities like Winter Springs are keeping up.
welcome back. We are following several top stories right now. Kissimmee's chief of police shared new details about why his deputy chief is facing an internal investigation. Chief Charles Broadway says the internal investigation into Deputy Chief Wilson Munoz is the final disciplinary matter related to the Andrew Basiago case. Earlier this year, Officer Basiago pleaded guilty to charges related to a use of force case from 2023. No other details have been released on what Munoz is accused of doing. Munoz is on paid administrative leave. Tonight, the Edgewater Police Department will have a candlelight vigil to remember the life of the officer who was shot and killed while off duty at a gas station. The vigil honoring Officer David Jewell will be held at the Edgewater Alliance Church on Ridgewood Avenue at 6. Police say the funeral will be held at a later date. Investigators in Polk County have made nearly 250 arrests related to human trafficking, child predators, and illegal immigration. Of those arrested, 99 were charged with soliciting prostitutes, including Orange County Deputy Recruit Jabez Lowe, who was fired by Orange County following his arrest. E-bikes can be fun and convenient, and they're more popular than ever. You do not need a license, registration, or insurance, and anyone of any age can ride one in Florida. But there are safety concerns. Your Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver looks into the e-bike boom in Winter Springs.
Just walk down a trail near you and you're sure to spot an e-bike.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry with no end in sight.
In Winter Springs, Police Chief Matt Tracht says his department sees kids riding e-bikes all over town as young as elementary age.
The fastest average speed that was recorded for the Tour de France was 26 miles an hour throughout the whole race. So these are pros that have had decades of training and experience on bikes, but yet we're going to give a kid in elementary school or middle school an e-bike that goes 28 miles an hour and tell them, go have a good day.
That's why his officers are everywhere you see e-bikes, educating.
We're making pamphlets that we can pass out to the kids, and we're even going into the schools.
And enforcing the rules. This is body camera video from when a child was stopped recently in Trotwood Park.
Since school started, we've stopped 45 kids on bicycles.
What are the basic rules?
State laws say an e-bike can go anywhere a bicycle can go. What we're seeing are kids in packs of e-bikes ignoring those, ignoring the rules of the roadway. You have to stop at stop signs. You have to operate it like you're operating a vehicle.
E-bikes are anywhere from 50 pounds to about 100 pounds.
John Frame manages Adventure Cycling, a bike shop off 434.
On this one, you can see there's a motor in the crank area, whereas on these ones, the motor is actually in the rear wheel. So we've had a lot of people come in and buy e-bikes just for commuting, getting to work and stuff.
As people change how they get from A to B, e-bikes have changed business.
We still do a lot of regular bikes, but there's definitely a huge increase in the amount of e-bikes that we're working on day to day.
It's just boomed.
Yeah.
They're also changing communities across Central Florida. How do parents make sure their kid's e-bike is street legal?
If it doesn't have pedals, that's going to be your number one indicator. A lot of these parents are buying these e-motorbikes that don't have pedals that will go from 30 up to 70 miles an hour. Recently, we stopped a kid in the park that said, yep, I was just going 37 miles an hour.
Are parents aware sometimes that their kid is even on an e-motorcycle and not an e-bike?
Unfortunately, no. They don't know until we either stop them and we call a parent and say, hey, your kid's on an e-motorbike and they can't be riding this.
In Winter Springs, Catherine Silver, News 6.
Orange County is moving forward with a new $8.3 billion budget. Just a few days ago, state leaders accused the county of overtaxing residents. The new spending plan includes millions of dollars for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, along with over $1 billion in spending on public safety. On Monday, Florida's chief financial officer accused the county of close to $200 million in wasteful spending, but did not cite any specific programs or expenses. It was all part of the state's DOGE task force investigation. The CFO is calling for that money to be returned in the form of a property tax cut. The Orange County mayor brought up the audit during last night's budget hearing.
We spend the people's money on the people of Orange County. We are not doing things in a manner that is enriching ourselves, but we're trying to enrich our community.
County commissioners voted 6-1 in favor of the new spending plan. The new budget is set to take effect on October 1st. Meantime, in Tallahassee, state lawmakers are considering a proposed amendment for the 2026 ballot to reduce or eliminate property taxes. The committee in charge could suggest changes like boosting the homestead exemption to $500,000 for non-school taxes, adjusting the cap on annual increases, and banning local governments from foreclosing on homesteaded property for unpaid taxes. Governor DeSantis says lowering or eliminating property taxes would help many Floridians.
The best way we can do to help give people relief so that they're able to do well and make ends meet is the property tax.
Local governments rely heavily on property taxes to pay for things like infrastructure, police, fire, and emergency services. Now to a powerful reminder. Today, Orlando City leaders and veterans gathered to remember America's prisoners of war and those still missing in action. News 6 was honored to have our own Trooper Steve serve as the host. News 6's Angie Casada takes us inside the ceremony where former POW Jessica Lynch shared her story.
A table with an empty chair, a symbol of sacrifice.
I know that we still have a large group that did not make it home.
Former POW Private First Class Jessica Lynch spoke in Orlando today of remembrance and conviction.
Those are still what we consider the MIAs. Some of them has been missing for 50, 60 years. And even though our hope is dwindling, we have to remember that they are not forgotten.
In 2003, Lynch was injured and captured by Iraqi forces after her unit was ambushed. She was rescued after 9 days in captivity by U.S. Special Operations Forces, marking the first successful rescue of an American POW since World War II. On Friday, as the UCF ROTC joined the VFW Post 2093 band, the message was clear, a renewal of the commitment.
We want to make sure that even if they don't make it home alive, that we want to make sure that we continue to, keep their families in our thoughts and our prayers and just let them know that, again, they are not forgotten.
In Orlando, Angie Casada, News 6.
Well, it appears TikTok will stay online in the U.S. In a Truth Social post, the president said he spoke with the leader of China and they made progress approving a deal. He said the Chinese leader would come to the United States at some point. Last year, a bipartisan bill banned TikTok because of its direct ties to the Chinese government. The app was ordered to hand over at least 80% of its assets to U.S. operators or shut down. President Trump delayed the ban and left the app online while a deal was pursued. We've yet to reach the first official day of fall, but in case you are already counting down, we are less than 100 days away from Hanukkah and Christmas. Shoppers are expected to tighten their holiday budget this season, possibly the most ever since the pandemic. Bradley Blackburn unwraps the holiday spending outlook.
Consumers are pinching pennies heading into the holiday season.
In this economy, what we're going through right now, yes, every penny counts.
PricewaterhouseCoopers surveyed 4,000 consumers in 4 different generations and predicts Americans will spend an average of $1,552 a person on gifts, travel, food, and entertainment. That's down 5% from last year, and the biggest drop since the start of the pandemic.
There is just a general consciousness around prices are going to rise, or I'm holding my breath waiting to see if prices are going to rise.
Allison Furman is the consumer markets industry leader at PwC. She says Gen Z is expected to pull back the most, spending almost a quarter less for the holidays than they did in 2024.
Gen Z has grown up in an era of rising costs, so they're very focused on cost transparency.
Furman says baby boomers are the keepers of tradition and will hold steady. All they really want is your presence.
But what do you want for Christmas?
Be with my kids.
Retailers are expected to trot out holiday inventory earlier this year, as they did with back-to-school items in early June and Halloween by summer's end.
A lot of retailers have pulled forward inventory in terms of shipping due to tariffs.
The survey anticipates nearly 40% of holiday gift spending will happen in the 5-day frenzy between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday, with 80% of gift budgets depleted by the end of that period.
Like right around Black Friday is a great time because everything's on sale.
If you do have to keep tabs on your wallet, there's an easy way to feel more like Santa than Scrooge.
Gift cards are a great way to stay on budget and kind of mitigate that awkwardness of having to trade down.
Gift cards top the list this year of what people would most like to receive and what they plan to give. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The Four Corners area here in Central Florida is home to 60,000 people, and it can be tough to navigate.
You could be in one county and then right across the street there's another county.
What is now being done to help people figure out which local government they fall under and how they can access resources? That's next. Plus, whether you're a book lover, thrill seeker, or just looking for some fall fun, we'll have the can't miss events happening this weekend. Jonathan.
Most of us are going to be dry tonight for high school football games. We do just have a couple of downpours trying to sneak on shore. We're going to pinpoint those and talk about a weekend that's on the drier side coming up at about 4:47.
And before we head to break, we want to remind you to check out our primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Go in depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. And you can download our streaming app for free. Just search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez. The community of Four Corners is one where 4 counties meet: Polk, Orange, Lake, and Osceola. And a lot of people live there, and navigating local resources can be confusing. So to help people figure out which local government they fall under so they can get the resources that they need, the Four Corners Task Force created a new website.
What's it like living in a place that's on the intersection of 4 different counties?
It's kind of weird because, you know, you could be in one county and then right across the street there's another county.
Considered a census-designated place or an unincorporated community without a legal government or boundaries, navigating local services in Four Corners can be difficult.
When you first moved here, was there any confusion about which county you are in?
Yes. Originally, when we did get here, we were doing tax stuff and stuff. They kept saying that we were in Lake County. We're like, no, we're Polk County. And well, then there's, Orange County.
To help the nearly 60,000 residents who call it home know which county is responsible for their public services, the Four Corners Task Force created this, a new online address tool. This is what the website looks like. All you need to do is put in your location, and then it'll show you your location as well as relevant links to many county services like the tax collector, property appraiser, or the school district. Residents who've had to figure it out alone think this will be very beneficial.
Perfect. That's perfect because, there is a lot of confusion and there's a lot of elderly people that live here. So that would be a benefit to them too.
I think that would be great because you can actually find your resources that you're looking for.
We have a link to that website at clickorlando.com. I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
All right, the weekend. Can you smell it, Jonathan?
Oh, I can.
It's upon us. It's that new weekend smell.
It's not as crisp, though. The air's not as dry as what it was last weekend. So it smells a little different, but it still smells pretty good. Dry air right now is starting to come in, but not at the surface. It's more at the mid-levels of the atmosphere. We do have a couple of downpours hanging out to sea. That's what we're going to be watching for a few of those to sneak on shore for high school football. Make sure you download that free News 6 weather app. If a downpour gets close, it'll let you know. You can track that right to your location. I am optimistic that most, if not all, of the games tonight get in nice and quiet. That's a look at the current radar picture against getting our skies, and as expected, not finding much. Like Buena Vista at West Orange tonight, kickoff at 7 o'clock. Just a little humid out there. Otherwise, it is a very good night again. Temperatures back to the mid-80s by 7 o'clock, 81 degrees by 8, 79 by 9 o'clock tonight. So again, most everybody should be on the drier side. Here's what I'm talking about, 9 o'clock tonight. Hardly anything, so a little bit of a change coming our way. We have some drier air spilling down the Florida Peninsula. It's not that less humid stuff. Again, it's more in the mid-levels of our atmosphere to give us a little more sunshine. That's 8 o'clock on Saturday, and still we have a couple of downpours lurking off of the Florida Peninsula. Otherwise, most of us are dry in the morning, and I think pretty dry throughout the afternoon. Again, it will be a little more humid than last weekend, but nonetheless, pretty good weekend coming our way. 7 to 8 o'clock on your Saturday evening if you have plans tomorrow evening. Things are looking great. Things are looking great right now as we take a live look. Look at those blue skies in Daytona Beach. That is a live look tonight in Daytona. Temperatures back to the middle 80s. The breeze out of the north-northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour for us. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
Rain chances at 20%. Temperatures back to 89 in Sanford. Tomorrow we're at 86 in New Smyrna, Titusville. Good evening. We're back to 88 degrees. Groveland, we are checking in at 91. On the tropical front, still two things to watch. There's Gabrielle, still battling some drier air. Again, that is no threat to the U.S. One way out there. Again, a low opportunity for development. Moving off of Africa, again, there are no immediate concerns when it comes to the tropics in terms of Florida. There's Gabrielle. It's fending off some of that drier air now. It's certainly looking a little bit on the healthier side. But again, this one's going to likely strengthen and brush just to the east of Bermuda. So it's staying far away from Florida in terms of that other one. Again, that yellow shaded area, low opportunity for development. Again, the main development region is just not conducive this season. We talked about that at length really for the past couple of months, that these waves that roll off of Africa just not being supported. That's obviously a good thing. So again, there is really nothing to write home about and nothing coming our way in terms of the tropics going forward. Again, that drier air is still continuing to hang out in the central Atlantic. And again, otherwise, we are looking pretty good on the tropical front for the next couple of days, next 7 days and beyond going forward. Next 7 days locally, 20% shot for downpours on Sunday. Most of us are dry. Rain chances at 40% on Monday, which is the first day of fall, of course. Really not feeling like it. 90 degrees with a 40% shot for downpours.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Open your camera app, scan the QR code on your screen right now, and click the link. We want to see your weather pictures and videos, and they could end up on TV. You can also go to clickorlando.com/pins and upload your pictures and videos that way. Get ready for a jam-packed weekend of a lot of exciting events, from spine-chilling Halloween thrills to family-friendly festivals and a celebration of local authors. We'll have your 6 things to do. That's next. As we take a live look at Mount Dora, you're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
Coming up on Monday, more cameras could soon be watching for red light runners in Orlando.
The plan to add dozens more throughout the city, and just how much money the ones already in place have brought in.
Plus, we'll have your weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We'll see you for News 6 Mornings Monday, starting at 6.
I'm meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Do you like to write? Ever thought about publishing a book? Well, I've got the perfect event for you. The Mount Dora Book Expo kicks off on Saturday. I spoke to the event organizer about what you can expect.
So the discussion panel is really geared more towards people who are into writing and want to get their book out there, whereas the rest of the expo is really just for people who love books and want to enjoy new books and win prizes.
It's a free indoor event at Donnelly Park. Check out PJ's farewell party at the Central Florida Zoo this Saturday from 9 a.m. through 3 p.m., celebrating PJ's departure. Don't miss this special day filled with memories, education, and rhino appreciation. Remember to stay hydrated. Fall Festival at Amberbrook Farm starts Saturday and runs through November 2nd. Pick pumpkins, sunflowers, zinnias, and enjoy the petting zoo and pony rides. Tickets are around $18 online. A few showers are possible. Start the spooky fun early. Legoland Brick or Treat begins Saturday with Halloween fun, candy, and a drone show. Don't forget your costume. Hollow Scream at SeaWorld runs this weekend through November 1st, filled with unexpected horrors. For mature audiences only, costumes are not permitted. Looking ahead to next Friday, WWE SmackDown is coming to Orlando. We had the opportunity to interview WWE superstar Nia Jax.
Bring a friend. There's always going to be somebody who is like a wrestling skeptic, and then they show up to the show and they're like, I'm in love with it, I'm hooked, because there's something for everybody in the WWE.
Those are your 6 things, and of course, if you have a fun event happening in your town, send it my way. I'm getting all of these fun events from viewers like you. You can head over to clickorlando.com or a News 6 app. Just click Contact Us.
Now, in case you're wondering, PJ, the greater one-horned rhino, is headed to the Buffalo Zoo as part of the species survival plan. News 6 at 5 is coming up next. Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead. Matt?
Elisa, we told you yesterday Kissimmee's deputy police chief is off the job for now. The months-long investigation he's being tied to. Plus, a demonstration to remember Charlie Kirk is being met with some pushback in one community, but it has nothing to do with Kirk himself. We'll talk about that. First, though, breaking new details about Wednesday's death at Epic Universe, what we're learning about the man who died. And your forecast is only minutes away. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts and live cameras like this look at Daytona Beach for free anytime on News 6 Plus. That beach is looking good. Now at 5, a demonstration to remember Charlie Kirk in Central Florida is being met with backlash, not because of Kirk, but because of who's organizing it. Plus, a local police department's deputy chief under internal investigation, the high-profile investigation he's being tied to, and how some Good Samaritans are stepping up to help a local hero in need of a new home. You're watching News 6 at 5. We start with some breaking news. Details just into the newsroom in the tragic death of a roller coaster rider at Epic Universe Wednesday evening.
We just got our hands on a sheriff's office report and first responder calls from the incident at Stardust Racers. News 6's Laverne McGee also has that report and joins us now live outside Epic Universe with the latest information. Laverne.
That's right. I just read the report. It said he was on medication. Take a look at the coaster behind me. It's not in use right now. The Orange County Sheriff's Office sent us some information saying that they didn't get any 911 calls, and that's most likely because guests can't use cell phones on the rides and in that area. But they did send us radio traffic from Orange County Fire Rescue.
Orange County Fire Rescue is on scene, CPR in progress. Supervisor from SO 10428. I'm being advised it's not looking good. I think I heard you say you're 51 as well.
While state and local investigators work inside the park, outside, those who knew Kevin Zavala are sharing pictures and memories. Quote, Kevin was truly one of a kind. He had an old soul wise beyond his years, with a heart full of compassion, love, and understanding. That is just part of a GoFundMe page reportedly dedicated to Kevin Zavala. Adding, quote, he was the kind of person who always made time to listen, offer thoughtful advice, and lift others up, even when he was facing challenges of his own. About $15,000 has already been raised of the original $16,000 goal, but in the last hour the goal increased to $28,000. As for exactly what happened, the medical examiner determined the manner of death an accident. You can see from the photos on the GoFundMe page, he used a wheelchair. Stardust is a relatively new ride with Epic Universe that opened in May. The Orange County Medical Examiner released a statement saying he died of multiple blunt impact injuries. While the Orange County Sheriff's Office's investigation into the death continues, the park has made the decision to keep the roller coaster closed. And once again, you're looking live here at that coaster. You can see off in the distance it is closed, not operational. There is a policy at Universal that clearly states that people with certain conditions cannot use the ride. Now, we don't know exactly, again, what the condition was. The Orange County Sheriff's Department says that they don't plan to release more information due to the fact that they do continue to investigate. But from what you've seen, what we've showed you, what is in that report is that he did have some kind of condition. And of course, we'll continue to bring you as much up-to-date information on this as possible. Reporting live in Orlando, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Laverne, thank you. The quickest way to get updates on this story is to download our News 6 app and turn on breaking news alerts. You can scan the QR code on your screen or search WKMG in your phone's app store.
A Central Florida City Councilman who is no stranger to controversy is getting even more attention for a march he's now organizing.
Palm Bay community correspondent James Sparvero has a preview of the planned march and why the councilman is standing by his decision.
This weekend, before the memorial service for Charlie Kirk, City Councilman Chandler Langevin is leading a march for the assassinated conservative. Now, rallies and vigils have been happening around the country, but what's really drawing attention to this event is what Langevin named it. It's called March for Charlie Kirk and All Victims of Left-Wing Evil.
And yes, there is other types of evil in the world, but there's absolutely left-wing evil in the world.
Councilman Langevin's flyer asks participants to write the name or print the picture of someone who died as a result of, quote, soft on crime policies, inept military leadership, or illegal immigration. He's also asking to bring Christian and patriotic flags. The plan drawing questions at this week's council meeting.
Are you guys also marching for all the people that were killed in school shootings, all the children?
You may remember Councilman Langevin also drew criticism in February when he said political values of Islam don't belong in the United States.
That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard, especially out of a local commissioner. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Thursday, I watched some of the same people from that February meeting address Langevin about this march.
we're on the verge of maybe a civil war. And it's not the left wing, it's the right wing.
There were also speakers in support of the event.
He is honoring the same victim, Charlie Kirk, that did not deserve to be murdered.
It fell on my heart, and I said, we're doing it. And I've gotten an outpouring of support from the community, and we're going to march.
The march starts Saturday morning at 8:45 at the Walmart on Malabar Road and ends here at City Hall. I asked to interview the city about what the event will cost and about its safety plan. The city has not disclosed that information yet. In Brevard County, I'm your Palm Bay community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
James, thank you. And maybe the comments against Charlie Kirk that have gotten the most backlash recently are the ones made by late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel, and the show has been pulled indefinitely. We'll have the latest on that controversy in about a half hour.
Thousands of people are expected to gather this Sunday at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, for Kirk's funeral and public memorial. Now, the Department of Homeland Security has classified the memorial as a Level 1 security event, the same level of protection used for a Super Bowl. Federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies are all coordinating security. Police are already warning about long lines. Although it will be a first-come, first-served seating situation, people are encouraged to register online ahead of time. Now, the stadium has a 63,000-plus seating capacity, and organizers are also opening an overflow venue next door with an extra 20,000 seats. Inside the stadium, the program will feature a lineup of prominent conservative voices, including Kirk's widow, Erica, President Trump, and Vice President Vance. We are also learning new details tonight about what led to one of Kissimmee's top police officers being put on paid leave. We first broke this news yesterday.
Yeah, and Kissimmee Deputy Police Chief Wilson Munoz was placed on leave during an internal investigation. Now we're learning it's all tied to a high-profile use of force case from 2023. News 6's Jarrell Baker joins us in the newsroom with more on that fallout. Jarrell?
Yeah, that's right, Matt. Now, there is a list on your screen right now that shows around a dozen officers and employees that were already fired, demoted, suspended, and also some resigning due to this case, including former Chief Betty Holland and Deputy Chief Camille Alicia. Now, Munoz could also be added to that list as well.
The Kissimmee Police Department is committed to ensuring that all of our neighborhoods and community areas, businesses, residential, are safe.
Just weeks after speaking with News 6 on a drug bus, Kissimmee Police Deputy Chief Wilson Munoz is now under an investigation of his own. Friday, Chief Charles Broadway confirmed that Munoz was put on leave as a part of the final disciplinary matter in the Andrew Basiggio case.
Don't touch him, man. Okay, come on, shut the door. Don't touch him.
Basiggio was indicted on felony battery and other charges after body camera video showed him entering a home on Bragg Street in April 2023 without a warrant and using force outside the department policy to take a man into custody, causing the man to suffer seriously bodily injuries. Investigators say that he also wrote a falsified report to avoid an internal affairs investigation.
While in the home, he struck Mr. Kastner twice in the face with his knee.
An independent investigation of the police department released earlier this year revealed that Deputy Chief Munoz admitted the agency probably should have conducted a criminal investigation into Officer Basiggio's actions, but joined Chief Holland and Deputy Chief Alicia in their collective decision to forego it. Also, Chief Deputy Munoz admittedly did not seek guidance from subject matter experts, legal advisors, or the state attorney's office during the early stages of the incident review process and knew no one in the agency consulted those appropriate entities to evaluate the incident. The statement by police didn't go into detail about Munoz, but the FDLE and other investigators have several concerns about Deputy Chief Munoz's actions. Munoz has been placed on administrative leave with pay for the duration of this investigation. Now, we did reach out to Kissimmee Police for an on-camera interview, but they did not get back to us yet. In the newsroom, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
Jarrell, thank you. Not a lot of rain today, but there could be some issues come kickoff tonight in some spots.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now with what to expect if you have plans tonight. Are we saying lightning or rain? What do you think, Jonathan?
Just a couple of downpours. Yeah, I don't think lightning is going to be an issue at all. And really, I'm just watching right along the coast. That's about it. We just have a couple of downpours trying to sneak on shore from the Atlantic, so you may get wet for a split second. These are going to be quick hitting and not going to last long at all. Note this radar scanning our skies, not finding anything through the 75 corridor back to Apopka, Deltona, into Astor, Lake Helen tonight. We're looking very, very nice across the board. Again, just that stray downpour possible. We're at 90 in Mount Dora right now, 87 in Kissimmee, 86 degrees in Holopah. Again, high school football looking very nice in West Orange County. Boone at Ocoee tonight. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Look at this forecast. It's a little more humid than last Friday night, but nonetheless, temperatures into the mid-80s by 7 o'clock. We're still in the upper 70s by 9 under a mainly clear sky. We'll talk about the weekend at about 5:17.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. A man is facing serious charges for sending threats to a high school student. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office says last month a student at Matanzas High School told the school resource deputy he was getting threatening text messages from a man who graduated from the school earlier this year. Deputies looked at the messages Carl Wesley is accused of sending to the teen, which included a picture of 2 pistols, a rifle, and an AK-47, and threatened to kill him. Deputies tracked down Wesley at his home. He told them he sent the messages because the teen was spreading rumors about him, and he did not even own any guns. He was arrested on a warrant for written or electronic threats to kill. He's being held on a $5,000 bond.
Tonight, a group of Good Samaritans stepping up to help a local hero in his time of need. How they're coming together to help get results for him, that's next at 5.
It's like a piece of history right here.
And later, the very special letter one Florida man is getting nearly a quarter century after it was sent.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
Marion County residents are getting results for one of their own, a 92-year-old Korean War veteran whose trailer home was hit by a car.
News 6's Alex Cook first shared the veteran needed help 2 weeks ago, and the community has responded. Today, he watched as the veteran's old trailer was demolished free of charge.
I'm in Ocklawaha, where I first told you about Otis Spender.
a 92-year-old Korean War veteran whose trailer home was hit by a car that ran off the road last month, leaving it unlivable. The nonprofit Villagers for Veterans has been working to get him into a new home, and News 6 is a part of that. Haskins Demolition and Disposal out of Ocala saw our story and offered to demolish Otis's old home for free, getting results on the mission to put a new roof over the veteran's head.
I really need all the help that I can get.
That's what Otis Fender told me 2 weeks ago as volunteers unloaded his belongings from his unlivable home after a car went off the road and crashed into it. Thanks to the nonprofit Villagers for Veterans, he's getting that help. While raising funds for a new trailer, Catherine Wilgus with the organization contacted local demolition companies about removing the old trailer. It's a job that would normally cost at least $6,000.
We shared the story, the link that you gave me. I told them that the nonprofit was looking at trying to get some assistance with this, and I forwarded the news coverage.
Haskins Demolition out of Ocala took the job on for free. They even covered the cost of permits for the work.
We saw the story, saw that you guys were needing a little assistance, so we came in and offered our services for the Korean War veteran just to be able to take it out.
And today they came out with their excavators to tear it all down. Their partners at Waste Pro also chipping in, loading up and hauling off the demolished trailer for free.
Touched my heart. My dad's also a Korean War veteran and one of our drivers also. So anyway, we wanted to do our part to help with it.
Wilgus's organization has raised about $7,000 for Otis so far and now passed the baton to the VFW in Bellevue, who are working to get a new trailer and get it moved onto the site.
News 6 is getting results, and it's been a blessing. And I know Otis, which we didn't have Otis here today because there's too much going on for safety purposes, but he's ecstatic. He just wants to get back to his home, and this was the first major step because you can't put anything back in until you take the old out.
The old trailer now gone, the ground flattened and ready for a new home. Otis did stop by to meet the crew and say thanks. In Ocklawaha, Alex Cook, getting results, News 6.
That is fantastic.
There's something to this
Yes.
community around here. That is good stuff. All right, meteorologist Jonathan Kagas joining us now. Everything looks calm at the moment.
Yeah, and I think it's going to stay that way for the most part as we go through the rest of your evening. The only spot I'm watching for the opportunity for a few stray downpours is right along the coast, watching this kind of streamer of downpours coming in off the Atlantic, heading just towards the southern part of Volusia County, maybe closer to Scottsmore, Mims, if they even hold together. We do have a few more downpours closer to Palm Bay, Melbourne, Sebastian, and Mico. Those are closer to the shoreline. That's really it. Everywhere else, we are nice and dry. We have mainly clear skies. Drier air continuing to come in to keep up with the forecast and to track any downpours that get going. Download that free News 6 weather app. Again, just search News 6 in your app store. Titusville at Spruce Creek, all my weather icons went away. It is going to be very, very nice if we're heading out to college, to high school football tonight. Again, just a stray opportunity for a downpour right on shore. I think we are dry in Spruce Creek. Here we go with the setup. This surface trough here, as we call it, area of low pressure is working its way through the Florida Straits right now. And as it goes up, it's going to keep the wind direction. That's the white lines on your screen. It's going to shift them to the north and northeast again, pumping in some of that extra dry air behind it. And that's what's going to try to gobble up the rain chances this weekend as well. All in all, I think we're mainly on the drier side tonight. And then also for most of your weekend, it will be a little more humid, so not that fall-like feel like what we had last weekend. 7 to 8 o'clock on your Friday evening, again, where high school football gets going. A stray downpour along the coast, that's about it. Overnight tonight, we're looking good with a mainly clear sky. A few passing clouds then push in for tomorrow afternoon. Otherwise, as you can see here, most of us are going to be dry. There's 4 o'clock, maybe a stray downpour through I-75, also towards I-95. But that is about it. And I think we keep things mainly dry getting into your Sunday as well. Here's a live look right now in downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam. Just a few clouds out there. We'll keep mainly clear skies through the rest of the afternoon and through your evening. Air temperatures at 88. The breeze out of the east-northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. We're at 84 in New Smyrna Beach. Titusville, good evening. We're hanging around 90. 86 degrees in Holopau. We're at 83 in Palm Bay. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
Back to right where we should be, upper 80s to around 90 degrees. We're at 91 in Groveland, 92 in Denell and Palm Bay. We're back to 88. Rain chances tomorrow only at 20%. And again, that's mainly right along the coast, maybe a stray downpour into the 75 corridor. Again, the humidity back a little bit as we go into the weekend. You can feel it out there today. It's still nice in the morning, nice in the evening, but certainly not as nice as last weekend. But either way, a very nice weekend coming your way. 20% shot for a downpour on Sunday, and that's again mainly along the coast. Showed you that area of low pressure developing again as it continues to move up the Florida coastline. Just that stray opportunity for a shower. That's moving into Sunday. That's 8 o'clock in the morning. Mainly clear skies, heading to church or breakfast, looking a-okay again, and I think most of us will be dry through the entirety of the weekend. Hey, first day of fall officially rolls around on Monday. It'll be 90 degrees, 40% chance for a few thunderstorms. Same deal on Tuesday. We'll keep things in the lower 90s for the bulk of the work week ahead.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. After the break, the special note one Florida man got from his mom more than 2 decades later.
Your weekend evening traffic alert. We have some good weather. Doesn't mean that construction is not going to happen. So pay attention over the weekend, please, especially out by the attractions. You'll see those lane closures out by Champions Gate 429. And then on top of Maitland here, as you're going underneath I-4. So just make sure you're paying attention east and westbound along Maitland Boulevard, and then those lane closures overnight. Big time out there towards the I-4 Turnpike and 528 area. No scheduled complete shutdowns to include even the Turnpike, but we will see construction there as well. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely. Have a great weekend. Catch you Monday morning.
A special arrival in the mail for a South Florida man.
This is an incredible story. In a letter dated March of 2001 from his mother, who died in the September 11th terrorist attacks.
Correspondent John Shainman has the emotional moments when he opened the letter.
A letter came to my attention at the television station the other day. Its real recipient lives in Fort Pierce.
It's like a piece of history right here.
It was for Javon Castrillo, dated March of 2001.
Ancient artifact.
And it was full of praise.
Dear Miss Thurman, Javon read a book last night that he brought home from the library. He read it from cover to cover. I told him that I would write you a note and tell you what an outstanding job he did. We are very proud of him and will continue to work with him at home. Again, thank you for your dedication and courage to the job that you do. Cece Lyles. Very touching. Because it seems very sweet. And it seems like something she would definitely say, you know.
The writer of this letter, Javon Castrillo's mother, was Cece Ross Lyles. This former Fort Pierce detective was a flight attendant on board Flight 93 that crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania on 9/11. The letter was sent to me by Javon's kindergarten teacher, Tammy Thurman.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Thurman tells me she kept this letter as she moved to 4 different schools in Lee County.
As a mom, I know you need to see those words from your mom. And she was a wonderful woman, and you were a wonderful student.
Thurman even sent along a class photo.
There we are. That's the buds. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
both the roles you guys played in getting me this note. Yeah, you guys did great.
A father now to a 3-month-old, Castrillo tells me he'll continue to make his mom proud since he knows she was proud of him.
What an
What an
incredible
unbelievable
story,
story.
right? And you know, I mean, obviously he lost so much at such a young age. And so to have any little piece that he can get from his mom has to
And
just
it
mean
being
so
so
much.
sweet, his mom
Of
being
course,
just an
and
angel.
so proud of him.
Good stuff.
Well, News 6 at 5. We'll be right back. Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We are following several top stories for you this evening.
News 6 just received the incident report providing more details about the death of a roller coaster rider at Epic Universe. 32-year-old Kevin Zavala died on Wednesday after riding the Stardust Racers ride. The report confirms that Zavala had a pre-existing spinal injury and was on an unspecified medication. Tonight, that ride remains closed.
We're learning the internal investigation into Kissimmee Police's Deputy Chief Wilson Munoz stems from a high-profile use of force case from 2023. Chief Charles Broadway says this is the final disciplinary matter related to the Andrew Biseggio case. Biseggio pleaded guilty to charges related to that case earlier this year. No other details have been released. Munoz is on paid administrative leave. A man facing serious charges for sending threats to Matanzas High School. A student there, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office deputies looked at the messages Carl Wesley is accused of sending to a teen, which included a picture of guns. He was arrested on a warrant for written or electronic threats to kill and is being held on a $5,000 bond.
Tonight, a community is coming together to pay respects to one of their own. Edgewater police officer David Jewell was shot 24 times in the back of the head in what the Volusia County Sheriff is calling a, quote, assassination. News 6's Troy Campbell joins us now live from Edgewater Alliance Church, where a vigil for Officer Jewell will be held tonight. Troy.
Yeah, the vigil is set to begin here at 6:30. Take a look at the scene here. They're playing music. They have flowers, pictures of him, and they also have his patrol vehicle. Now, all week, people have showed up to the Edgewater Police Department to see his patrol vehicle to pay honor to David Jewell. Now, tonight, people are expected to come together to honor Jewell, reflect, and pay tribute. Now, according to the Volusia Sheriff's Office, 45-year-old Edgewater police officer David Jewell was shot more than a dozen times by 24-year-old Eduardo Machado. The Sheriff's Office says Machado was a cashier at the Ormond by the Sea gas station where he was captured on surveillance camera gunning down Jewell on Monday evening. Investigators say Machado confessed to the shooting, adding he was having a, quote, bad day.
He has confessed that he knows the difference between right and wrong. He said that he had an argument with police officer Jewell, but he doesn't know when that argument occurred or what that argument was about.
So again, this is set to begin at 6 o'clock. We do see a lot of law enforcement presence here to pay tribute, as well as members of the community. So of course, we will bring you more of that reaction coming up at 6 o'clock. Until then, live in Volusia County, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Troy, thank you. Well, it's been about a week since an appeals court struck down Florida's long-standing open carry ban. Today, the Florida Attorney General said state lawmakers are already in the process of taking the court's ruling into consideration to draft new laws surrounding open carry.
You've got law on the books that prohibits open carry. I've issued guidance to law enforcement and prosecutors. We're not going to be enforcing violations of that law given this new opinion. But that's going to have to be addressed, taken out of Florida statute, and an open carry law's got to be put back in place.
But until new laws get put into place, sheriffs across Central Florida are trying to help people they're sworn to protect understand the changes. Your Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee spoke with the sheriff about what it means for his community and law enforcement.
I was a fan of the concealed carry. That's what I do when I'm out and about. I conceal carry. I don't want to scare anybody. I try to respect your rights.
Osceola County Sheriff Chris Blackman wants you to know that you may see people carrying guns openly in public. His office has been getting a lot of questions on social media about how this will affect police work and public safety. They're making sure their deputies are ready.
It's a Q&A between the attorneys and the deputies, basically the what ifs, what about, how do you do this? They're going through that in detail.
You've been in law enforcement, forgive me, how long?
35 years.
And you've never faced this?
Not open carry.
Does it concern you?
Oh, it's very concerning because you hope the person that has the open carry is legally authorized to have that weapon, and it's not there for nefarious reason.
Wouldn't it be scary for an officer to approach somebody knowing that they had a gun right there?
It's a challenge. It's a big challenge.
Some people are happy about open carry. Others worry Florida could turn into the Wild Wild West or the gunshine state. Orange County Sheriff John Mina is a vocal critic. In a statement, he said in part, Just the presence of a heavily armed person in a public place is enough to create a sense of panic. Remember, firearms are still not allowed in sensitive places like schools, courthouses, and police stations. Also, private property owners can ban guns on their property.
So the grocery stores, Walmart, Publix, and others like that have the right to refuse you to enter their building. They can ask you to leave. And if they ask you to leave, you need to leave, especially if you're carrying a weapon, because now if you refuse to leave, it becomes armed trespassing. So you went from basically a misdemeanor violation to a felony.
Sheriff Blackman says if you see a threat, call the police. Otherwise, know your rights and respect the rules. I'm Laverne McGee, your Osceola County community correspondent, News 6.
A small group of protesters gathered this morning at one of the Walt Disney World entrances after the indefinite suspension of Jimmy Kimmel. ABC, which is owned by Disney, pulled Jimmy Kimmel Live from its lineup. It happened after several affiliates owned by television groups Sinclair and Nexstar announced they would preempt the program because of comments that Kimmel made about the murder of Charlie Kirk. The controversy is raising questions about free speech and the role the government plays in both political and business transactions.
We stand with Jimmy Kimmel, and we want him to have his job back and exercise his free speech, his right to free speech. And it's just very important that we also recognize that cancel culture is a little bit different when individuals make a decision not to buy a product and purchase something than when the government tells us that, somebody has to be fired.
FCC Chairman Brendan Carr said he thinks Kimmel misled the American public about Charlie Kirk, and the FCC is, quote, not done yet with what Carr calls the media ecosystem.
These protests are happening nationwide, although Disney says they're hopeful the show will return. As CBS's Erica Brown explains, critics call the move an attack on free speech and alleged interference by the Trump administration.
In the wake of ABC's suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live, President Trump suggested other networks could face consequences for negative coverage.
They give me only bad publicity, no press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away.
FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, a Trump appointee, says the president has changed the direction of the country and is taking aim at legacy media.
We're going to continue to hold these broadcasters accountable to the public interest. And if broadcasters don't like that, simple solution, they can turn their license into the FCC. There's other things that we can do with it.
But the FCC only issues licenses to individual local stations, not networks. And it was the owner of a station group that helped push for Kimmel's suspension. Nexstar, the country's largest local broadcasting group, first announced it would preempt Kimmel's show. Nexstar is currently seeking FCC approval for a $6.2 billion merger with another media company, Tegna.
The issue here really is whether the government is using coercion or pressure to get private companies to do indirectly what it could not directly force them to do.
Many Democrats and even some Republicans say this sets a dangerous precedent.
If the government gets in the business of saying,
what you
we
can and
don't
can't
like
say,
what you, the media, have said, we're going to ban you from the airwaves if you don't say what we like. That will end up bad for conservatives.
House Republicans blocked a motion to subpoena the FCC chair to testify before Congress. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Hours ago, the U.S. Senate confirmed former Florida Congressman Mike Waltz as President Trump's U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Now, this was the last position to fill in the president's cabinet. It was vacant since he took office in January. The bipartisan vote came after a recent hurdle sent his nomination back to the Foreign Relations Committee, where it had to be voted on again today. Waltz represented Florida's 6th congressional district until he resigned to serve as the president's national security advisor. However, he was ousted from that role in May after mistakenly adding a journalist to a private Signal chat used to discuss sensitive military plans.
Well, where am I? Right now, the answer is probably your home. But for people driving around the area known as the Four Corners, the answer is not so clear. Lake, Polk, Orange, and Osceola counties, they all come together in this little spot right here. Creates confusion, especially for those who call in the event of an emergency. Osceola County community correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez looks at the new tool to help direct people to who they need to talk to.
The Four Corners Task Force has created a website to help people figure out which local government they fall under so they can get the resources that they need.
What's it like living in a place that's on the intersection of 4 different counties?
It's kind of weird because, you know, you could be in one county and then right across the street there's another county.
Considered a census-designated place or an unincorporated community without a legal government or boundaries, navigating local services in Four Corners can be difficult.
When you first moved here, was there any confusion about which county you are in?
Yes. Originally, when we did get here, we were doing tax stuff and stuff. They kept saying that we were in Lake County. We're like, no, we're Polk County. And well, then there's, Orange County.
To help the nearly 60,000 residents who call it home know which county is responsible for their public services, the Four Corners Task Force created this, a new online address tool.
This is what the website looks like. All you need to do is put in your location, and then it'll show you your location as well as relevant links to many county services like the tax collector, property appraiser, or the school district.
Residents who've had to figure it out alone think this will be very beneficial.
Perfect. That's perfect because, there is a lot of confusion and there's a lot of elderly people that live here. So that would be a benefit to them too.
I think that would be great because you can actually find your resources that you're looking for.
We have a link to that website at clickorlando.com. I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
E-bikes are booming in popularity across Central Florida, and we're looking into some of the issues that some communities are now seeing with those bikes. Jonathan.
And we are pinpointing just a couple of stray downpours right off the coast. Some of these are trying to sneak in. Most of us are dry this evening for high school football. We'll pinpoint some of those games and talk about the weekend on the other side of this break.
Well, e-bikes can be very fun and convenient, and they're more popular than ever. You don't need a license, registration, or insurance.
Anyone of any age can ride one in Florida. Winter Springs community correspondent Catherine Silver looks into the e-bike boom there.
Just walk down a trail near you and you're sure to spot an e-bike.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry with no end in sight.
In Winter Springs, Police Chief Matt Tracht says his department sees kids riding e-bikes all over town as young as elementary age.
The fastest average speed that was recorded for the Tour de France was 26 miles an hour throughout the whole race. So these are pros that have had decades of training and experience on bikes, but yet we're going to give a kid in elementary school or middle school an e-bike that goes 28 miles an hour and tell them, go have a good day.
That's why his officers are everywhere you see e-bikes, educating.
We're making pamphlets that we can pass out to the kids, and we're even going into the schools.
And enforcing the rules. This is body camera video from when a child was stopped recently in Trotwood Park.
Since school started, we've stopped 45 kids on bicycles.
What are the basic rules?
State laws say an e-bike can go anywhere a bicycle can go. What we're seeing are kids in packs of e-bikes ignoring those, ignoring the rules of the roadway. You have to stop at stop signs. You have to operate it like you're operating a vehicle.
E-bikes are anywhere from 50 pounds to about 100 pounds.
John Frame manages Adventure Cycling, a bike shop off 434.
On this one, you can see there's a motor in the crank area, whereas on these ones, the motor is actually in the rear wheel. So I've had a lot of people come in and buy e-bikes just for commuting, getting to work and stuff.
As people change how they get from A to B, e-bikes have changed business.
We still do a lot of regular bikes, but there's definitely a huge increase in the amount of e-bikes that we're working on day to day.
It's just boomed.
Yeah.
They're also changing communities across Central Florida. How do parents make sure their kid's e-bike is street legal?
If it doesn't have pedals, that's going to be your number one indicator. A lot of these parents are buying these e-motorbikes that don't have pedals that will go from 30 up to 70 miles an hour. Recently, we stopped a kid in the park that said, yep, I was just going 37 miles an hour.
Are parents aware sometimes that their kid is even on an e-motorcycle and not an e-bike?
Unfortunately, no. They don't know until we either stop them and we call a parent and say, hey, your kid's on an e-motorbike and they can't be riding this.
In Winter Springs, Catherine Silver, News 6.
See them all over the place.
Yes, you do.
Nowadays. All right, meteorologist Jonathan Kagis joins us now. Friday Night Football is here. The weekend is here. How are we looking?
I think pretty good on both fronts, Matt and Lisa. We were talking about a couple of downpours kind of lurking offshore tonight. Every now and then we're trying to get them really close, but they fizzle out. So that's the evidence of the drier air being in play. We have a couple of downpours well to the west of I-75 as well, pushing down just to the west of Gainesville. These should remain outside of Central Florida. You can track any of the downpours that get going tonight with the News 6 weather app. They will be few and far between. Most, if not all, of the games getting in on the dry side tonight. Lake Buena Vista at West Orange coming up at 7 o'clock tonight. We're going to be mainly clear. 84 by 7, 81 by 8. We're back to the upper 70s by 9 o'clock. A few clouds trying to push on shore once we get into tomorrow as well. This is going to be early morning on Saturday. So that same kind of deal. We'll have downpours get close. A few may sneak on the beaches tomorrow afternoon. Otherwise, I really think most of us are going to be on the dry side. Rain chances tomorrow only at about 20%. You'll feel that drier air as well. That's 2 o'clock in your afternoon, looking pretty good with the mix of clouds and sunshine. 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, most of the activities hanging to the west of I-75 and closer to the Gulf Coast of Florida. Looking really nice as we start your Sunday. Speaking of looking really nice, look at the shot here. Beautifully blue skies in Daytona Beach. The water nice and calm as well. Temperatures right now into the mid-80s. The breeze out of the northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. We're going to keep that breeze off of the Atlantic, allowing for that stray opportunity for a shower. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
Temperatures tomorrow pushing 90 degrees. We're at 88 in Titusville, 86 in Palm Coast. Good evening in Mount Dora. We'll be at 91 degrees tomorrow. Looking good for the football game tomorrow if you're a Knights fan heading out. It's a big game tomorrow. Tar Heels versus UCF, of course. 87 degrees at the stadium tomorrow at kickoff. Partly cloudy skies. Again, that rain chance at 20%. That stray downpour should even stay east of the football stadium. So again, there should be no problem tomorrow with any kind of delays or anything like that. Should be very nice weather for the game. Two things in the tropics that we're keeping tabs on tonight. There, of course, is Gabrielle, this little mess. Again, it's still disorganized, and that poses no threat to the United States at all. Then this tropical wave that's working its way off of Africa. Not that impressive either. Again, some slow development is going to be possible over the next couple of days. But still, just like we've talked about for weeks and weeks and weeks, the main development region, that area in between the Lesser Antilles and the Eastern Caribbean all the way back to Africa, it's still not that conducive. So as we're in the peak of hurricane season, the basin, at least in that part of the world, can't really support these systems. Again, just a low opportunity for development over the next couple of days. Otherwise, there are no immediate threats to Florida. Again, tomorrow temperatures get back into the upper 80s to around 90 degrees with that 20% shot for a downpour. Same deal as we move into Sunday, first day of fall. On Monday, rain chances going up a little bit to 40%. Monday into Tuesday, temperatures staying in the lower 90s, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. A U-turn on the Florida Turnpike rips a father from his son.
No, I don't have a father. It's not everybody have a father, and me.
After the break, we're hearing from family members of one of the victims killed in this horrific crash.
Now to a story that made national headlines when it happened. It has now been 1 month since the driver of a semi-truck made a U-turn on the Florida Turnpike and caused a deadly crash.
A minivan slammed into the semi's trailer, killing the 3 people inside. Tanya Francois from our CBS affiliate in Miami spoke with the family of one of the people who died in the crash on the difficulties they faced since this happened.
Yes, the man
family. 54-year-old Rodrigue Dor came to the United States a year and a half ago on a humanitarian visa. His sister Gerline Dureles says he was looking forward to starting a business back in Haiti.
Before the accident, friend told me that he said he's not gonna stay here. You have to buy a ticket to go back in Haiti.
Dor never settled. He came to Miami staying with his sister. He then moved to Georgia and spent the last 2 months in Indiana. It's where he and two friends were heading back to on August 12th when their van slammed into a semi-truck police say was making an illegal U-turn on the turnpike. Dor's son flew in from Switzerland for the funeral.
I'm sad, yes, I'm sad, I'm trist. Now I don't have a father. It's not everybody have a father and me.
The accident made national headlines. The governor held a press conference. The Florida lieutenant governor flew to California to pick up Harjinder Singh, the driver of the truck, escorting him back to Florida to face vehicular homicide charges. Meanwhile, the family says they have been on their own.
People said a lot of things, but no one called us, no one tell us nothing about that. Only the Asian consular come by here and call us, nothing else.
Since the accident, the family has been working with the Haitian consulate to get Dor's 13 and 15-year-old daughters into the United States. They've had no luck.
The embassy in Haiti is closed, and we don't have visa for them to go to Republic Dominican. That's why we take too long, and then they cannot come to see the funeral.
Your heart just breaks for that family. Ginger Gadsden is in the newsroom with what we're working on for News 6 at 6.
Lisa and Matt, we are continuing to follow breaking news coming out of Epic Universe tonight. The 911 calls from the moments after a man died after riding a roller coaster there. Still to come, what we are learning about the 32-year-old man who was killed and how the community is pitching in now to help his family. Plus, car thefts are down nationwide, how Florida compares to the rest of the country, and which models are the most targeted by criminals. A live look now at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera on a Friday. You're watching News 6. We will be right back.
Right now at 6, remembering fallen Edgewater police officer David Jewell. 1 week after he was gunned down at a gas station, the city is coming together for a candlelit vigil. Plus, newly released 911 calls detail the emergency response to a man who died after riding a roller coaster at Epic Universe.
Supervisor from SO 10428, I'm being advised not looking good.
Where the investigation stands tonight.
I don't understand it. And I'm not paying for something that we didn't do.
After a woman receives a $4,400 water bill, we head to Wedgefield to cover the latest chapter in a decades-long water saga. News 6 at 6 starts now.
We begin tonight with new details in the death investigation at Epic Universe. Officials releasing an incident report just hours ago revealing Kevin Zavala had a pre-existing spinal injury and died after riding Stardust Racers roller coaster.
The medical examiner says the 32-year-old suffered multiple blunt impact injuries. News 6's Laverne McGee has been digging into this all day. She joins us live outside the park tonight. Laverne?
That's right. If you take a look right behind me here in the distance, off behind the hotel, that is the ride right there, shut down. Not in operation right now as they conduct this investigation. Now, I read the report that came out just shortly. It was released to us just before 4 o'clock. The report said that the man was on medication and had a pre-existing spinal injury. They also said they didn't get any 911 calls, most likely because guests can't use cell phones on those rides. They do have radio traffic from Orange County Fire Rescue. Take a listen.
Orange County Fire Rescue is on scene, CPR in progress. Supervisor from SO 10428, I'm being advised not looking good. I think I heard you say you're 51 as well.
While state and local investigators work inside the park, outside, those who knew Kevin Zavala are sharing pictures and memories. Quote, Kevin was truly one of a kind. He had an old soul wise beyond his years, with a heart full of compassion, love, and understanding. That is just part of a GoFundMe page reportedly dedicated to Kevin Zavala. Adding, quote, he was the kind of person who always made time to listen, offer thoughtful advice, and lift others up, even when he was facing challenges of his own. About $15,000 has already been raised of the original $16,000 goal, but in the last hour the goal increased to $28,000. As for exactly what happened, the medical examiner determined the manner of death an accident. You can see from the photos on the GoFundMe page, he used a wheelchair. Stardust is a relatively new ride with Epic Universe that opened in May. The Orange County Medical Examiner released a statement saying he died of multiple blunt impact injuries. While the Orange County Sheriff's Office's investigation into the death continues, the park has made the decision to keep the roller coaster closed. And there you go. Once again, you can see the coaster there behind the hotel in the distance, sitting there still. Again, not in operation. We are not being told if and when it will become operational anytime in the near future. The rest of the park is open. We've seen guests around in the other areas, but of course this investigation continues, and we will of course bring you all the updates as we get them. Reporting live in Orange County, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Yeah, so much more to learn. Laverne, thank you. The quickest way to get updates on this story is to download our News 6 app and turn on breaking news alerts. Search WKMG in your phone's app store to find it.
Right now, the Edgewater community is remembering the life and legacy of former police officer David Jewell. He was shot more than 20 times while off duty at a Circle K gas station.
One day after a procession, the city comes together for a candlelight vigil. News 6's Troy Campbell joins us now live from this somber event.
Yeah, Ginger and Matt, they just passed out those candles to everyone. The ceremony has just begun behind me, where we're hearing members of the Edgewater Police Department speak about Jewell. Now, all week, people have showed up to his Edgewater Police Patrol car outside the Edgewater Police Department to pay tribute. Now, tonight, again, they're expected to honor, reflect. Now, according to the Volusia Sheriff's Office, 45-year-old Edgewater police officer David Jewell was shot more than a dozen times by 24-year-old Eduardo Machado. The Sheriff's Office says Machado was a cashier at the Orman by the Sea gas station when he was captured on surveillance camera gunning down Jewell on Monday evening. Investigators say Machado confessed to the shooting, adding he was having a, quote, bad day.
But tomorrow and forever we rise. He has confessed that he knows the difference between right and wrong. He said that he had an argument with police officer Jewell, but he doesn't know when that argument occurred or where that or what that argument was about.
And again, there's also dozens of members of law enforcement out here and members of the community. So we will be here and we will bring you all of the emotional reactions starting tonight at 10. Live in Volusia County, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Thank you, Troy. A live look at our Launch Credit Union Port Cam, where the rain has stayed away today. Looks pretty idyllic out there right now.
Looks pretty nice.
What about the weekend, though?
That's always the big question. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is tracking what we can expect tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're all looking forward to the weekend.
And I think it's going to be a nice one. Maybe not as comfortable. I still think we have that, like this morning, how it was kind of nice out there. Maybe not as refreshing as last weekend, but still on the drier side, going to see a lot of sunshine. And again, it is going to be, relatively speaking, more on the more comfortable side rather than the soupy humidity out there. We do have a couple of downpours that we are watching this evening. Every now and then they're getting pretty close to the shoreline. So in terms of the high school football games tonight, we keep on talking about it. The only spot that I'm worried about a straight downpour, and it'll be quick hitting and not last very long at all, would be right along the coast. Otherwise, we are nice and dry tonight. 86 in Orlando right now. Wildwood, good evening. We are at 90. Denellen, we're checking in at 90 as well. Palm Coast, we're at 82 degrees. And again, for the rest of the night, a stray shower or downpour just right along the Atlantic beaches. Even then, that chance is very slim. We're at 77 by 9, 76 by 11, hanging out into the mid-70s just after midnight. We'll talk about the rest of your weekend and take a look at next week as well, coming up at about 6:17.
Jonathan, thank you. Tonight, we are learning new details about what led to one of Kissimmee's top police officers to be put on paid leave. This afternoon, Kissimmee Police Chief Charles Broadway says Deputy Chief Wilson Munoz was put on leave as part of the final disciplinary matter regarding the Andrew Paseggio case. Paseggio pleaded guilty to felony battery and other charges in a high-profile use of force case from 2023. Now, so far, around a dozen officers and employees have already been fired, demoted, suspended, and also some resigning because of this case. The independent investigation of the police department released this year revealed that Munoz admitted the agency, quote, probably should have conducted a criminal investigation into Paseggio's actions, but decided to forego it. Munoz has been placed on administrative leave with pay for the duration of this investigation. Breaking right now, we are seeing a pretty big backup on the Florida Turnpike. This is near East Osceola Parkway in Kissimmee. FHP is listing this now as a crash. We're working to find out more details about what actually happened here, and when we get more information, we'll bring it to you both here on air and on clickorlando.com.
A Central Florida City Councilman who's no stranger to controversy is getting even more attention for a march he is now organizing. Your Palm Bay community correspondent James Sparvero has a preview of that planned march and why the councilman is standing by his decision.
This weekend, before the memorial service for Charlie Kirk, City Councilman Chandler Langevin is leading a march for the assassinated conservative. Now, rallies and vigils have been happening around the country, but what's really drawing attention to this event is what Langevin named it. It's called March for Charlie Kirk and All Victims of Left-Wing Evil.
And yes, there is other types of evil in the world, but there's absolutely left-wing evil in the world.
Councilman Langevin's flyer asks participants to write the name or print the picture of someone who died as a result of, quote, soft on crime policies, inept military leadership, or illegal immigration. He's also asking to bring Christian and patriotic flags. The plan drawing questions at this week's council meeting.
Are you guys also marching for all the people that were killed in school shootings, all the children?
You may remember Councilman Langevin also drew criticism in February when he said political values of Islam don't belong in the United States.
That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard, especially out of a local commissioner. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Thursday, I watched some of the same people from that February meeting address Langevin about this march.
We're on the verge of maybe a civil war. And it's not the left wing, it's the right wing.
There were also speakers in support of the event.
He is honoring the same victim, Charlie Kirk, that did not deserve to be murdered.
It fell on my heart, and I said, we're doing it. And I've gotten an outpouring of support from the community, and we're going to march.
The march starts Saturday morning at 8:45 at the Walmart on Malabar Road and ends here at City Hall. I asked to interview the city about what the event will cost and about its safety plan. The city has not disclosed that information yet. In Brevard County, I'm your Palm Bay community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Orlando is planning to extend its red light camera program. So if you are caught on camera running a red light, your car is recorded and then you are given a ticket. The city council says they are expecting to hold a public hearing on expansion plans on Monday. Officials with the city say the program has been successful so far. They have handed out more than 60,000 tickets and collected $4.2 million from infractions. Much more ahead on News 6 at 6.
Including the battle over water rates in one Orange County community. I sat down with one woman who says the prices are just a glitch, what she's seeing. We tried to get answers for her after she got a $4,000 water bill. Hear from her after the break.
Plus, new numbers say car thefts are down this year, and Florida ranks among the best in the country. We take a look.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole. Well, think about your average water bill. Now imagine getting that bill for 1 month for more than $4,400. $4,000 bill here. This woman contacted News 6 saying she has nowhere else to turn. Her water will be shut off Tuesday, and she says this has to be some sort of glitch. I spoke with her about the issues with that water company, Plurus.
It's been difficult. My family has passed away. I'm taking care of my grandfather and my dad. So it's hard.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Annika Martin can barely keep her head above water. On top of everything else going on in her life, in July, Martin received this water bill for $4,400 for 1 month.
What do you think's happening?
I think that there's a computer glitch of some sort. And I don't know exactly what's going on, but something's going on.
Here's a closer look at the bill. On June 8th, her water usage goes from averaging 0 to 10 gallons per hour to 180. Then it stays between 240 and 300 gallons per hour for nearly a month straight at all hours of the day and night.
You don't have any pet hippos that you wash regularly?
No.
You don't have a mini SeaWorld going behind your house?
Nothing.
None of that?
Nothing.
News 6 has covered the water drama in Martin's neighborhood for more than a decade. She lives in Wedgefield in East Orange County. Plurus Water Company services the area. Neighbors have complained of smelly water and excessive rates for years.
We pay more for water than anybody. I'm not so happy about that. We can't drink the water. We're probably getting sick from bathing in the water. It's just not acceptable. None of it. If they have faulty equipment, it's not our responsibility.
Martin says she called 2 plumbers who both confirmed there was no leak. We reached out to Plurus. They responded saying they checked the meter, no issues. In an email, the company wrote, Plurus is not legally bound to give Miss Martin an adjustment on the elevated usage charges. In an act of good faith, we have offered a tier rate adjustment and payment plan on the remaining balance. Miss Martin has not yet acknowledged if she will accept the offer. The bill was cut to $1,800.
My response is, you're still wanting me to pay for water that I did not use. The only acceptable thing is to adjust my bill to what it normally is, and I'll pay it. That's it. But my water is going to be shut off on Tuesday if I don't pay this.
So neighbors in Wedgefield have been lobbying to join Orange County Utilities for years. It has been a saga. And recently, Orange County commissioners opened the door for Florida Governmental Utility Authority to acquire the system from Plurus. Now, FGUA is a special purpose government known to buy substandard systems and then fix them up. That decision has yet to be made, though. Ginger.
$1,800 is still a lot of money. All right, thank you, Matt. Well, there have been fewer stolen vehicles in 2025 compared to this time last year. That's according to numbers from the National Insurance Crime Bureau. The latest numbers show vehicle thefts dropped 30% in Florida. That's better than the national average of 23%. Only one state saw an increase in thefts. That was Alaska. The top 5 most stolen models: Hyundai Elantra, Hyundai Sonata, Honda Accord, Chevrolet Silverado, and the Honda Civic.
All right, meteorologist Jonathan Kagas joins us at the desk right now. People are enjoying their weekend already.
I think so.
Friday night football is upon us.
Yep.
We're going to have a couple of games out there that might get some slop.
Maybe just like a sprinkle.
That's
it.
not bad.
Yeah,
That's
not
fine.
bad
Okay,
at all.
good.
Yeah, don't expect any lightning delays or anything like that. If there's any
Perfect.
kind of quick hitting downpour, it's going to be right along the coast, and that's about it. We do have some drier air coming in, and that's what's going to kind of settle itself into Central Florida as we move into the weekend. Radar scanning our skies tonight, and you see just a couple of specks on the Atlantic that we're just watching closely. Again, these are not a big deal at all. Quick hitting downpour possible right along the coast for the remainder of the evening. Otherwise, we are going to be nice and dry. The reason for this, and you can stay up to date with the weather, of course, and track those downpours out there by downloading the free News 6 weather app. We have this trough of low pressure, this elongated area of low pressure with a surface low developing right along where the winds are kind of coming together. The white lines on your screen right here, that's the wind direction. So as this area of low pressure kind of rides that boundary, we're going to tap into some of the drier air to our north, and it's actually going to help us out by plunging some of that drier air down. Now, with that breeze off the Atlantic, it'll also help generate a few stray showers. But with the dry air, they're not going to get very far inland. So there's 7 to 8 o'clock again on your Friday evening. That downpour that's west of Gainesville should just stay right outside of the Marion County line. There's 4 o'clock in the morning. Most of us are dry, just a few passing clouds out there. And then same deal tomorrow. There's 1 o'clock, and notice again, just a few stray downpours right along the coast. Those will try to push on shore. That's really about it. A pop-up downpour possible as we get towards 4 o'clock. Rain chances tomorrow only at 20%. So I think most of us are going to be on the drier side. Look at that beautifully blue sky out there. That is a live look in downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Sky Cam tonight. We're at 86 degrees. The breeze out of the northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. We're at 82 in Palm Coast, 87 in Holopah right now. Groveland, good evening. We are at 87 degrees as well. On our way back tomorrow to right around 90 degrees. For that, here's a look at your forecast.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Rain chances at 20% tomorrow. The best chance, relatively speaking, is just right along the coast. We're at 91 in Kissimmee, 88 in Titusville. Mims, good evening. We're back to the upper 80s as well with that breeze out of the east. We're keeping rain chances only at 20% again for the weekend. A little on the muggy side, at least compared to last weekend, so not as comfortable. Still, though, the morning should be nice. Same for the evenings. There's that area of low pressure. Again, it lifts off towards the north. There are the blue arrows, again, representing that northeast wind, and that just helps to put a couple of showers right on the coast. But the further inland on the Florida Peninsula you are, the drier you're going to be as we're tapping into some of that drier air back towards our north. Over the next few days, again, rain chances on the lower side, 20%. First official day of fall on Monday. It's not going to feel like it. We're hanging around 90 degrees. We'll see a 40% shot for thunderstorms. Same deal on Tuesday, a little bit higher Wednesday and Thursday, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you.
Sports director Jamie Say is here. Jamie, time flies when football teams are winning games.
Sure does. I mean, it's the halfway point of the high school football regular
That's
season.
crazy.
It is crazy. Big games tonight. A live look at one of them is on the way. And the volleyball champs visit News 6 today. The Orlando Valkyries get ready for a third season in Central Florida. That's coming up next.
And check out the all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. Ginger and I will have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. After that, go in-depth as we track the tropics and answer your questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas at 9:30. Man, that guy is good. And then watch the late news at 10. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus.
Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
Welcome back to News 6. There's no better place to be tonight than under the Friday night lights. If you're a high school football team, it's week 5 of the season and the undefeated watch is on. Let's go live to Port Orange. News 6 is at Spruce Creek High School as these unbeaten Hawks try to improve to 5-0 tonight. They host a good team from Brevard County, the Titusville Terriers. Check out these highlights plus action from Deltona, Ocoee, Winter Garden, downtown Orlando, and more tonight on News 6 at 11. The Florida Gators and Miami Hurricanes are about to battle for the 58th time tomorrow night, 7:30 at Hard Rock Stadium. The Canes have a 30-27 edge in this all-time series. They're 7.5-point favorites in tomorrow's game with the Gators. 4th-ranked Miami has been humming along, averaging 40 points a game with a good balance of the passing and run games. We know how much a victory would mean to the 1 and 2 Gators right now. Their defense has been good enough to win games. Turnovers on offense and penalties have stood in the way. 2 in-state rivals playing under the lights. Doesn't get much better than this.
It's going to be a fun one to watch, you know, and I think these are the games you come to play in as a competitor. When you sign up to be a player here, these are the ones that you look forward to.
The state championship in the state of Florida is always going to be one of the highest goals that we have. These guys play against each other. The fan bases, alumni bases, they're at it all off season.
Complete coverage of the Gators and Canes tomorrow night on After the Whistle, plus UCF, North Carolina, Florida State, Kent State, and more. Join Ryan Welch and me tomorrow night on After the Whistle at 11:35. So dig this, a couple of champions dropped by the News 6 studios today. We were happy to host 2 members of the Orlando Valkyries, outside hitter Charity Looper and libero Emmy Kalika. They also brought the Valkyries championship trophy, which Orlando captured last spring. The Valkyries open up their 3rd season in January, playing their home matches at UCF's Edition Financial Arena. What can you tell me about the Valkyries' style of play?
I think we are just aggressive. We go for it. We're the type of team that will swing big in the big moments. In the gym, we're very intentional with our training, and we train the little things that are going to matter in the big games, like a championship game.
Charity, how motivating is that?
Seeing this right now just makes me want to get on the court right now. This is the longest off season I've ever had in my entire life, so I'm ready to cut it. I'm ready to get started now.
Nice. Yeah, so there's so much fun to watch, so much action, and the atmospheres at UCF's Edition Financial Arena for these matches, just phenomenal. So many youth volleyball teams go there, parents, kids, friends. It's really super cool there.
Some amazing athletes on that team, too.
Yeah, I mean, these are the best volleyball players in the U.S. that are on these teams that are coming here to compete.
Can't believe they're toddlers. They're 3, that team. Thanks, Jamie.
Hey, more news coming up at 9 o'clock on clickorlando.com on News.